What is going on, everyone? It's DC3 Johnson here with another Madden 20 franchise mode video here, guys. So, just giving you guys a quick walkthrough of what happened in the postseason. So, unfortunately, we fell short, got eliminated in the first round. Seahawks end up going to the conference championship game, and the guys that we lost to, the Chicago Bears, end up losing in the Super Bowl. So, while it was disappointing, I guess it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, we basically lost to the NFC champ. Just a quick run through as to what happened in the offseason for us. A couple moves. I decided to see if we could skip a little bit of free agency just to see if we can squeeze everything into one video, which is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to do the entire 2022 season all in one go, just so that way we, especially now that we're getting closer to Madden 21, I really just want to finish this series off strong, hopefully with a nice outing for us, and see what we can do here. So we do want to focus on our. It looks like I have 11 center backs. Definitely, it's got to be one thing I got to fix there. And we do end up going for a strong safety. We just want to focus on our defense, see if we can do something here. Because with the offense, I kind of feel a little confident with Kyler Murray and our wide receiver program that we're currently working on with Christian Kirk and CD Lamb. Definitely not the most ideal, but scenario for us that we need to continue to focus on. Injuries, which were a factor for us last season, and kind of the development of Andy Isabella, who we consider to be our third option at wide receiver, but we'll focus on that later. We'll focus on that later. Right now, let's just see if we could do anything on defense. And so now at this point, since we are starting to get to the latter point of the draft here, we want to focus on getting whatever we can get. And that means definitely getting another center back, which puts me at 12. And right now, it looks like there wasn't really anything we could have gotten good in the fourth round, so we decided to trade our pick away, even if that means giving it to the LA Rams, our division rival. So not the best of scenarios, but in exchange for something that sometimes is what we have to do here. And so we go for a nice left end, just to fill the gap here, especially a nice star rating. Look at this, we're in the seventh round and we're getting a second overall. Nice rating, so definitely move on there. See, and then we end up getting lucky with another third round pick there, and let's see what we can do. Still in the sixth here. See if we can find any star ratings. Doesn't seem like there is much. So I think we're going to go ahead and trade our pick away. And Chicago Bears won a fifth round, even though they just eliminated us in the first round last year. It's just business, nothing personal, I guess. And we get a nice exchange there, and we give our seventh round pick to the Bengals, and that pretty much takes us to preseason, guys. So right now, the Fuller, who in a previous video was going to be out for 41 weeks, looks like he's finally back, which is great because that was something that was definitely upsetting. Our overall doesn't seem too high, which I am a little concerned about, but I think it's just because we kind of struck out a little bit in free agency. Arizona's a little bit of a tough sell to get prospects and free agents. Right now, we do end up trading our backup halfback. Now that David Johnson starts to get on the older side, we're going to see if we could flip and see if we can get a little younger halfback that could develop and potentially replace David Johnson in the near future. And so now time to cutting, guys. So we have 20 players to cut right now. We already took care of 3 or 4. We have players that doesn't meet our standards. We're definitely the first ones to go. But I also like to keep a nice, healthy practice squad just to make sure we're developing our future stars at the end of the day. Because the one thing about Madden, since it does have an expansive roster, you can't just focus on getting stars, because one, you'll run out of money, and then two, there'll be a year where the entire thing will fall apart on you, and you definitely don't want to have that happen to you. You want to make sure you're developing the young guys, because some of them decline very quickly. Like one moment you'll have an 85 overall, and then by the time you're doing re-signings, they're like a 73, 74. Like That's the one thing is the decline on this game can sometimes be very, very extreme. Like one moment they maybe go down like a point or two. The following season it could go down like 6 or 7, like or like 10 all of a sudden. This is a nice quick jump. So again, still doesn't meet our standards, but I don't want to cut a 68 overall and move him to practice squad. But if we, I guess we might have to, just because we'll end up losing them. They'll end up signing elsewhere, and we definitely want to do that. So see right there, C.D. Lamb, Christian Kirk are 1 and 2 there. Left tackles were pretty good. James Daniels, obviously, we're not going to move. Center's the one ideal position I think we need to go hard in the draft come next season, just because that is the area literally they tell us it's our worst position grade. And unfortunately, free agency we struck out a little bit. Yeah, we'll go ahead and move him to practice squad. We'll have to pull the trigger and have to kind of take a chance here. One more. Let's. It's kind of up in the air about Blades or Thompson, but we end up going with Blades just because we might get lucky that since it was his first year, we might be able to retain him and not get signed by the practice squad. And now week 1, we get the nice win over the Saints, which I'm actually very stoked about, considering the Saints to me are always a very tough team and a team that's always pretty consistent. So it's great. So let's go to week 2. Let's see how we do against the Broncos. And we do decide to auto upgrade some of our players just so we can keep focusing on the rest of the season. So right now we do drop against the Broncos and we do drop against the Rams, which is a little concerning. And right now it's time to re-sign a couple contracts, and obviously the big one is re-signing Kyler Murray. He wants 5 years. We're going to offer him 7 years. Get him to take a little bit more cash. So it's going to be a really big contract. 7 years, 182, and he ends up going for it. And definitely we're going to do the same thing with Byron Murphy. He wants 5 years. We'll go ahead and ask if he could do an extra 2 years in exchange for we'll offer about $1.3 million extra, and looks like he ends up going for it as well. So just a quick tip, guys, for re-signing guys. Definitely want to see if you can squeeze a little bit more and maybe offer an extra year for a little bit of less cash. Sure, it sounds like you're giving away more money, but keep in mind that when they get out of these big contracts, they're going to ask you for the same amount, if not more, when they try to re-sign with you. So it'll be a lot more expensive than just giving them a little bit of cash up front, basically. Think of it as like if you're doing a payday loan, and you're like the payday service. Like, sure, you're giving money up front, but you're getting a bunch in interest from them later on. So it sounds like a good deal to them, but in reality, you're making money off of that interest, basically off the high APR and all that wonderful stuff. Which obviously I won't get into because this is a Madden game, not a financial thing. But anyway, we do end up pulling the trigger and we get Jordan Hicks because we're trying to improve right now. We're 1 and 3. Our season isn't going that well, and we do decide to upgrade our left end and see if hopefully that stops a little bit of the bleeding. Right now, injuries haven't really been a factor, so I can't even say that it's because of the injuries that we're not performing well. But let's see. I mean, we do have the bye week, and then Christian Kirk has just upgraded to an 82 overall, which hopefully will help us. Our center back upgrading, which is great because we need our defense to really pick up the pace. We do have a little bit of Coach XP, so we'll go ahead and focus on our defensive backs and see if that training boost is able to help us get them to the next level. And we'll go ahead and sim here. And we do get the win over the Raiders, which is great because that was definitely a must-win for us in terms of getting the season back on track for us. And let's see, we do end up simming again against the Chiefs here. Kind of a little nervous about this, but I'm hoping we get it done. And we do get the win over the Chiefs, or Patty Mahomes, and that insane defense and offense. So I guess technically we're not terrible. If we're getting wins against the Chiefs, we're not a horrible team. I guess we just need to be more consistent about it and see how we do there. Alright, so 4 and 3, so we're back on track, and then time to upgrade our guys. Byron Murphy, we just re-signed to a 7-year deal, so Definitely great to see that he's still moving in the right direction. And see, this is why I always recommend you manually upgrade the players, especially the ones you really care about. Just because Kyler Murray's ideal scheme fit was the third best option. So we would have done auto upgrade on Kyler Murray. It would have upgraded a different category, which wasn't ideal for us. And now re-signing, we're going to re-sign Isabella. Obviously, same thing. We're going to offer him an extra year, a little bit more cash up front in exchange to keep him for a long-term deal. And now we were initially working on our rookies when it came to season training, but now that we're getting closer to the end and we really need to pick up on this season, we're going to go ahead and focus on our stars. So we have our full safety, Christian Kirk, our #1 wide receiver, who went up to a superstar rating. Obviously, CD Lamb is an X factor, so we don't need to worry too much. He'll upgrade. And Kyler Murray's a star, which is technically below superstar, so it's like the third category. So we want to make sure we're helping Kyler Murray develop, because at the end of the day, our quarterback, if he's not strong, we're not going to be strong. And unfortunately, we do lose against the Rams, which is a key game there, especially since it's a division matchup. So, not ideal for us. Let's go ahead and check contract extensions. Looks like our tight ends are starting to get their contracts expired. Ricky Jones, he's going to go up to a 79 probably in the next week or two. And he wants an upgraded bonus, which I do apologize that I guess he wasn't in... I guess he felt a little offended by my offer, so I do apologize. And he actually goes up to a 79 already with this practice. So definitely gonna offer him a little bit more money in exchange to keep him. And Kendall Fuller, who was our guy that was injured last year, ends up upgrading to a 90 overall. And Devontae Smith, I believe he's our 5th option when it comes to wide receiver, goes up to a 75. So pretty good. We'll take what we can get. Both teams are 4-5-1 against each other. Sorry, Falcons. We and the Falcons were 4-5-1. Sorry, that was a little bit of a mouthful. And I'm curious to see how we're doing right now. And we do get the win over the Falcons, which is great. And now we're going against the Bucks, and unfortunately we do end up losing to Tampa Bay. But overall, I think we can still do this. I think we just need to beat the Seahawks and definitely keep them out of our way. I mean, for sure we're probably not going to win our division, but we could probably get a wild card position. And the Seahawks, I did answer the question as we should disregard Russell Wilson, not because I don't think he's good, but more because of the fact that if we focus our offense on stopping Russell Wilson, our defense, then everyone else is going to be really good. And we do end up re-signing Ricky Jones to a long-term deal, and we do get the win over the Seahawks, which was great and necessary at the same time. And now we're going to go against the Giants. We'll go ahead and do training a little bit right here, upgrading our guys. So see, Jordan Hicks was the one that had like the second option as the scheme fit. Owen again was the bottom, the scheme fit option. So just making an argument as to why you want to make sure, if you have the time, if you're quick about this, then yes, I understand auto upgrade. But if you have a little bit of extra time, especially with your main guys, you want to make sure you manually take care of that, just because the CPU could screw you over in that section. And let's see how we do. We do get the win over the Giants, which is great. So we're down to 2 more. We get the I was about to say San Diego Chargers, but they're the LA Chargers. And then we'll have a trip in the Bay in San Francisco. So overall, not a bad road trip. I mean, considering that Arizona is not too far from Cali, is great. And just re-signing a couple of contracts here. I'm a little iffy on this, but we'll go ahead and give Deontay Thompson a chance. At the end of the day, he's been with us from the beginning, so we'll go ahead and pull a contract with him. We'll go ahead and re-sign Zach Allen for a 1 year as well. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, we'll trade him, or we won't re-sign him the following season. Center, while I'm not impressed with his rating overall, it seems like there's not a lot of good centers out there. So we'll go ahead and re-sign, same deal. If we pick somebody better, we'll go ahead and get rid of him and trade him, or not re-sign him after. And we do end up getting Christian Kirk up to an 83 overall, so the in-house training is working pretty good. Our backup halfback is already up to a 76, which is great considering that in about a year or two we're going to need him to take over for David Johnson. As for scouting, guys, center is our weakest position without a doubt, so I have focused a lot of our scouting efforts on that. and then our RG as well, considering that that's literally the weak section for us. So that's basically what's been. And then for training, we kept the same guys, Baker, Kirk, and Murray to week 17. And right now, only our punter went up to, well, we'll see. Oh, he goes up to an 80 because I was gonna say 79, but 80 works out pretty good. Let's see how we do. And unfortunately, guys, we do end up coming up short. We did end up tying against the Rams in one of our matchups. We do get the win over the 49ers, but unfortunately, that tie does not work really well in our favor. Either way, the Buccaneers finished 9-7, so it's probably, if we would have been able to get that win, that would have been the wild card for us. Doesn't really matter. We do end up getting, well, the Rams end up making the conference game, so I don't think we would have done well against them. Just a quick peek of the Pro Bowl there. Hicks was in it. Kyler Murray unfortunately wasn't, and I believe Christian Kirk was also on the roster as well. As for yearly awards, this time around, not even in the top 6 when it comes to getting our quarterback out there, nor Coach of the Year. And let's take a quick peek of the AFC, just for those of you guys that are interested in that. As for the NFC, yeah, nothing overall so far. Jordan Hicks, ooh, okay. So second overall, he probably might have gone it had we gotten to the playoffs, and that should potentially do it. So Super Bowl 57 will be 49ers, Rams and the Patriots, and this time around the Patriots end up falling to the Rams. So nice little revenge for LA, who in real life lost, I believe it was Super Bowl 51, sorry, because 50 was Peyton Manning and Cam Newton, but it was like the one where it was like a low scoring 13-3. So this one was a little more entertaining because it was 27-21. As for free agency, looks like, see right now some of our guys, even Jordan Hicks declined very, very heavily. So we're gonna go ahead and unfortunately let everybody walk, and we'll advance to free agency. So right now we have a lot of payroll. We'll go ahead and see if we can invest in getting a top guy to see if we can upgrade. And one of our sections we've been struggling is defensive tackle. So we're going to go ahead and throw a bunch of money and see if we can basically go from rags to riches here. And we'll end the video basically right after this, right after completing these signings, just so that way you guys can get an idea, and that way in the next video where we do the next season, because I am going to try to do another full season in the next one, we can see how, if we ended up getting lucky with them. Unfortunately with Harrison, it looks like our money didn't really impress him, so we just got to keep offering a bunch. At the end of the day, we still have a lot of cap space. 8 million is pretty good. See, look at this, just 99. We want to make sure we're about 4 to 5 points ahead. We do end up double checking just to see if there's anything we can get moving, and it looks like we just need to keep offering more salary. We end up going 13 million for a 1-year deal, and he goes up to 102 in interest, and we're really hoping that allows us to re-sign him and get him on the deal that we're trying to complete, and get an upgraded roster. That's really pretty much what it is. I mean, we fell short this season. And Max Williams, we're going to go ahead and have to let him go. We're going to go ahead and see. He's a scheme fit, 78 overall. A little younger, about a year or two younger. That way, in case something happens to Ricky Jones, we're able to at least have someone to kind of cover our gap here, especially at the tight end position, which that one's a little tough to kind of find prospects in terms of rookies that could potentially replace someone right off the bat. And our left end, our former left end, looks like he has an offer. We'll go ahead and not offer him a deal. We still have a little bit of cash, just trying to see if we can find one more person. It looks like we don't have any left backs, but unfortunately we don't have the money to sign the top guys. We have about 3.5 million, so I think we'll go ahead and go with O'Shane. 72 overall, and we'll still have about $416 in cap room. And guys, we'll go ahead and leave the video right here, guys. We'll go ahead and sim the week and pretty much leave it here. thank you guys for watching all the way to the end, guys, and stay tuned for the next one. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Take care and stay safe out there.